Smoked corned beef, just in time for St. Patty's Day. Let's get after it. I'm going to be setting up my Weber kettle today for the snake method. If you haven't used the snake method before, it's a great way to keep temperature for longer cooks. I'm just going to do a simple 2x1, so 2 coals on the bottom, 1 on top. I'm still lighting my chimney, but it's only going to be about a quarter full. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to prep the corned beef as my coals are getting set. So first thing you need to do if you've got a store-bought corned beef, this is a simple 3-pound point that I picked up from the local grocery store. Now you can pick these up at your local butcher. You can have them specially made, or at this time of the year in March, they're usually on sale. You can usually find a good deal. I think this 3-pounder cost me maybe $7. So you're going to want to get that out of there, and you're going to want to rinse it off. Some cool water. Also, if there's any extra fat on there, this one wasn't too bad, but if you have any extra fat, you might want to trim it off the top. This one was pretty well trimmed, so I wasn't going to do anything additional to this one other than just washing it off. Because as it's sitting in the juices and things in that package, it can get a little slimy. You want to get that stuff off of there. And I'm going to be using some of my barbecue rub as well, in addition to the seasoning that comes in the packet. So you usually get a nice seasoning packet that comes in the pre-packaged corned beef. I'm trying to dig it out here. There it is. You want to rinse that off as well. But it's a clear packet. Has your seasoning and spices. If you wanted to, you could just use that, put that on it. But today I'm just going to do a little bit something different. Be adding a mustard binder, as well as I'm going to be putting my own all-purpose barbecue rub on there, in addition to the seasoning packet that comes with it. But you want to dry it off, pat it down, dry it off a little bit. And again, the next steps are going to be completely optional for you. You don't have to do it, but I just wanted to try something different today. And you can see the recipe down below. I'll post the entire recipe. So just some straight up yellow mustard as a binder. You can use whatever mustard you want. Some I've seen use like a Dijon mustard or maybe a spicy mustard, however you like it. But today I'm just using a simple yellow mustard binder, and spread it all over, even it out. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could trim off some of those extra pieces, make it nice and pretty. I'm not too worried about this one. It's going to be just a simple cook for the family, so it doesn't need to look exactly, picture perfect. So once you get the mustard binder on there, you're going to want to either, you can put the seasoning packet that you came with the brisket or the corned beef on top, but here I'm just adding some of my barbecue rub. Get it all over there. Make sure you spread it out evenly. Pat it in if you need to. Make sure it sticks on there. Again, this is just an optional step. You don't need to add any additional rub, or you could choose whatever rub you want. Okay, so the corned beef is already, brined. It's already got a nice flavor to it. You could just do it this way. Use the seasoning packet that comes with it. But I just wanted to add another layer of flavor, so I'm using my barbecue rub on top of it. Once that's done, put that seasoning mix that came with it in it, and you're all set to go. Look at that. So here I'm setting up my coals for the snake method. So as you can see, I put all my coals there at the beginning, and the goal is that as the coals continue to heat up around, it keeps temperature. I'm using some cherry wood chunks, and then also some Jack Daniels wood chips. So the coals will continue to catch each coal as it goes around. I'm looking for a temperature of about 250. I want to keep it at that 250 mark for my grill ambient temperature. With the corned beef, I'm going to be wrapping it once it hits about 165. Now you can certainly use like a wireless probe, that might work, but I love the old school. I love to just stick the meat thermometer in there because I get a nice accurate reading every time. I've never gone wrong. With this corned beef, I'm also going to be doing a nice Guinness spritz, and then I'm also going to be wrapping it. Once it hits that 165 mark, I'm going to be putting it in a tin, and I'm going to be putting some Guinness in there as well with it. Now, don't mind the pour there. Guinness can get pretty foamy, so that's a pretty bad pour. I wouldn't drink that, but I'm just going to be spritzing the corned beef with it, so I'm not too worried. Let it sit for a while. Look at that. It'll start coming back a little bit. But yeah, not a great pour, but with Guinness, you're going to get a lot of that foam in there. So I'm just going to be doing a Guinness spritz throughout about every 45 minutes to an hour while it's unwrapped. So on here, I'm spritzing, looking pretty good. Nice color already. It's been a consistent temperature, about 250. So like I said, that snake method, it does keep it pretty even throughout the cook. And I went about 3/4 of the way around. And here we go, spritzing it a little bit more. It's a beautiful day here in Wisconsin. Don't have to have my winter jacket on this time. Can have a nice spring jacket on. Although you wouldn't tell, we just got snow last night. All right, now we're looking pretty good. It's about time where I'm going to put it in the pan. It's about that 165 mark. Going to take it, put it in the pan, and then I'm going to pour the rest of that Guinness that was in that bottle out into the bottom, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Spritz it one more time all around. Man, that's looking pretty good there already. Beautiful. Good camera work too. All right, here we go. Gonna pour that bad boy in there. That's the rest of the Guinness. Again, all this stuff is completely optional. This is added to another layer of flavor to it. I love smoking corned beef, especially around this time. And you can usually find them pretty cheap around the grocery store. And you can also wait till after St. Patty's Day. And you can probably find some good deals and put them in the freezer, save them for a later date. But here we go. Now we're going to wrap it up. Put the foil on top of it. Make sure it's nice and tight. You want to seal those juices in there. It's going to continue to cook. And I'm actually looking forward to pull it at about 203, 205. So a higher temperature, almost like you would do a brisket. Wrap it at 165. Keep it on until an internal temperature of 205, 203, 205. That's when it's going to really start to break down, and you'll have some nice, tender, moist meat. And the steak method works really well again. It's still going. I haven't had to replenish any coals yet. An optional step for you, too, if you like a little bit of cabbage, go ahead, get a nice head of cabbage, slice them up into like 1-inch thick steaks, and then season with butter, some paprika, garlic seasoning. That's how I did these, and I'm gonna smoke them for 2 hours while the rest of that corned beef gets ready to go. It was great flavor. Actually, I think I actually enjoyed the cabbage more than the corned beef on this one. It was great flavor. So look at that beautiful color on the cabbage. The corned beef was done. So here I am getting ready to pull it off. I was just checking the temperature on there. Now, if you have a wireless probe, you probably wouldn't need to do this, but I was just checking my internal temperature there. Seal it back up because I'm going to let that bad boy rest for about a half hour before I slice into it. Cabbage was ready to go right away. Cook it till it gets soft, and here you go. Here's how it looks once you pull it off, and I've been waiting for about a half hour. It's a beautiful color. You could save some of those juices as well, make a nice sauce for it. You know, render it down, put maybe a little bit of honey Dijon mustard in there, some butter, and you can make a nice Guinness kind of glaze for it. And I'm going to slice into this here, but make sure when you're pulling out your probes, you take precaution. Those are hot, so don't ask me how I know. But those are hot once you take them off the grill or the smoker, so make sure you use protection when you're pulling out your thermometers. Don't want to burn your fingers there. All right, so here we go. Let's slice into this. Again, make sure you have a nice carving board or a nice carving knife. It makes things easier. It's great color, great kind of crust on the top. Now, you're not going to get a bunch of that moisture that you might get out of it, like if you're doing like a brisket. But this is still, it was still a very moist cut of corned beef. It pulled apart nice when you're trying to eat it. Almost a melt in your mouth type. You can't really tell by the video there, but I did make a a nice Guinness Glaze to go with it to dip in it. Again, totally optional. These are things that you can do if you like. But let's check the first bite there. Nice. Very good. Super flavorful. Again, if you're looking for different options, try a few things out. This one, again, I just did a nice simple mustard binder. Put some of my barbecue rub on there. Put the seasoning packet, and then I smoked it at 250 until it got to an internal temp of 165. Then I wrapped it until it got to an internal temp of about 205. Let it rest, and then you're ready to go. Hope you're enjoying the videos. If you do, give us a like and subscribe, and check out the next ones.